Yo, what? I feel like this is really all coming together. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely cooked.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video about Perfumery. In my last two videos, I kind of introduced it, showed you my first 4 oils that I purchased, and then the one after that, I showed the equipment I was buying and just, you know, my process of what I was buying and why I needed it. And we're kind of going to go over a little bit of that again today, but the point is, all my stuff has come in the mail. At least I'm hoping this is everything. They only gave me 2 boxes, but I ordered like a lot of stuff. Like, I don't remember how many different things, but it was like at least 8. But yeah, today we're gonna be opening my stuff for Perfumery, so I can start actually experimenting, doing perfume stuff, and then I'll be doing more videos on the actual Perfumery side of Perfumery. Right? Start making my own colognes, because Christmas time is approaching quickly, and I need to make that beautiful Christmas time cologne as my first seller maybe. But yeah, let's go ahead and crack into these and we'll see what we got. First off, I need to get a knife. Now, I'm not very prepared for this. I have a machete behind me and I have throwing knives by my bed, but this was the only thing that it seemed practical enough to use. This is my work knife. I'm figuring that the big box down there has more variety of things in it. This might only be one thing, and I think there's multiple stickers on this of what's inside of it, but they just plastered it over the same one, so we don't get to know what is actually in here. You guys will see before me what's in there. I hope it's not demonetizable. Oh, it's just a piece of foam. Beneath the foam, what do we have? Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I think I'm gonna flip the camera around so you guys can get a better close-up.
Yo, look at these bottles. This is absolutely sweet. Well, let me pull one out. One of our little bottles. This is exactly what I was hoping for. You know, they're not super dark. I would like if they were a little more tinted, but they'll work for sure. You know, better than clear. We got 30 here. All right, 30, and then I'm hoping 30 of these caps, which are that. What is that called? Polycone? Put on screen. That's what these caps are called. Yeah, it looks like this whole box is just those bottles and the caps. So very, very essential.
All right, so we got our 15 milliliter bottles in the amber glass, which makes me a little bit concerned because that means either they fit everything into this next box, or I just didn't get anything that I ordered. I was a little bit worried when there was only one thing in one of the boxes. Hopefully, everything is in here and intact. We wouldn't be too shocked with Amazon if it wasn't. All right. This looks like a present in here. We got a lot going on, dude. First off, we got this paper. All right, so I think pretty much everything is in here. All right, first off, we got our wash bottle. So we actually got 2 of these, which I didn't even need to, but apparently I got 2. So we'll fill this with alcohol so we can put this little tube thing. Actually, let me just take it out. So here's our wash bottle. Basically, this thing just screws on, and we'll fill this up with our Perfumer alcohol. And then we can basically just put this in the little bottles, and it will just be much easier than using like a funnel or like just making a mess everywhere, basically. This is pretty much designed for that, so this will be very helpful for us. And we got 2 of them in case one of them just like explodes or something, I don't know. All right, then next we got our scent strips, which are just little paper strips that we'll just dip in our little bottles, sniff them, and then we can, you know, set them up. If we get some clamps or something, I've seen people that get little, if you've seen it like restaurants where they have the little paper card, like in a metal holder, they get some of those perfumers I've seen to hold their scent strips so they can like compare them. Realistically, I'm just gonna set these on my desk and they're just gonna sit there because I don't need to pay for a holder for my paper. Like, just set it on the desk, bro. But yeah, scent strips, definitely very useful for comparing different mixtures and scents. Then we got this tiny little box, which I'm very curious what this is. I have no clue what this is. I'm very worried I'm just gonna cut myself doing this. Why are 3 people calling me, bro? All right, our little box has been opened. All right, I forgot I got these. This is our little beakers. So these are one of the most essential things. Really, to get started, you probably can't hear me over this bubble wrap. Really, to get started, this is probably the most essential thing because I can't mix anything if I don't have anything to mix it in. So I got these small little, these are 30 milliliters total. But like I can measure like 5 milliliter, 10 milliliter. Really, it's just a place to mix it in. It really doesn't matter how much you have in there. I could do barely anything, or I could do a lot if I wanted to. But for sake of finding, like experimenting with the scents and mixtures, I'm just gonna do a little bit. But still, got 2 of these for mixing my stuff in. All right, let's see what else we got in here. So right on top, pretty clearly we have the scale, because this is the only one that has an actual box for it, because it's branded, I think. Look at that. They just stole the Target logo. What? So that is tight in there. Came with batteries included? Yo, 5-star review, bro. Okay, well, they just fall out immediately. So it came with all this stuff that I also didn't need. Like here we have like a little powder scooper thing. How big is this? Okay, it's all in Chinese. We have a little powder scooper thing. And then we have the cable for it. And then we also have a little dish. I think this is just for if you like scoop the powder into this, then you can set it on the scale. I think is what this is meant for, but it looks like Mickey Mouse. And then we also got some tweezers, which that's pretty cool. I wasn't expecting to get tweezers, but sweet. All right, let's pull this out. Look at this thing. Sweet looking, bro. So yeah, pretty standard looking scale. Feels pretty good quality. Pretty much just what I was expecting, but I gotta plug it in to see if it actually works. So hopefully it does, but.
All right, so I just put the batteries in and it just automatically turned on. So I didn't even have to charge it or anything. I'm not sure what these are. Are these like weights? Okay. Now I set it on a flat surface just so it won't be affected by me moving it or anything. And I figured since we're gonna be using these on the scale with the liquid in them, might as well just use it ahead of time. All right, so we can just do that and then click tear. And then, okay, I don't know why it's going up. Okay, well, yep, this scale is cooked. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely cooked. I got it to work. It's at 0 with this on it, all right? So basically you just click tear and it subtracts that from the value. So if we had liquid in there, then it would measure just the amount of liquid that we've added, right? So we can weigh different amounts of ingredients, right? So when we add a certain amount, we want to be able to like say, okay, I've added this many point of a gram. They gave us these little weights that look like bullets. In fact, they look exactly like bullets, which are 20 grams, which is pretty neat. All right, so that would be 40 grams. It doesn't work super well, but this thing was like 20 bucks, so it works far better than I was expecting it to. But yeah, we'll just have to see how this thing works as we go along experimenting, but worst case scenario, I have to buy a new scale.
All right, so that's the scale out of the way. We got 3 more things in here. First off, might as well go simple. We got our pipettes. I think I got 350 of these. So 350, these are just our little ones. I got the 0.02 milliliter, just because it's more precise. You know, you get a smaller amount. The standard is like those huge ones are like 1 milliliter, but that's way too much because, you know, our bottles are 15 milliliters, right? So that would be 1/15 of the entire bottle. So I got 0.2 milliliter, which will work far better for us. I got 350 of these, so beautiful. And then next up is a very heavy box and a very large box. And this, guys, is our magnetic stirrer. Right. So I have no idea what to expect. I don't remember what this looks like, actually. All right, let's pop this out, bro. That didn't work very well. All right, here it is. Looks like something straight from China, which I'm sure it is, but had great reviews, so. And then we do have an instruction manual in there. We got this little cord to plug it in, and then we got our magnetic pill thing. I might actually just get some water in a beaker so I can test this thing out. That thing just fell, okay. Our little magnetic pill. So this is slightly concerning. Our instruction manual just looks like it was printed straight out of Google Docs. It's all in Arial font, and yeah, it looks like something I would make in middle school. I'm a little bit worried, guys.
You think that's enough water? Don't mind the absolute mess of Xbox and guitar amp cords, but we got our water. We got 1 tablespoon here. Accidentally spilled a drop on there. But here we got our little metal pill thing, which I'm hoping will actually fit in here. I can't even tell if that's actually fit in there. I think it has. It's very long though. a little bit concerned why it's that long. Yo! Dude, just like that. That's like the minimum. Should I crank it all the way to the max? I don't want to ruin the guitar, but I'm very curious. Look how low we are right now. We have red. Okay. Yo, what? Dude, this thing is sick. I might just have this running like all night long. It's so entertaining. Okay, that works splendidly. In fact, this is my most proud purchase today. Very glad with how this turned out. And I was wondering, like, once we have our liquid, how do we even get the pill out of there? And then I remembered this from the other thing that we actually got with our scale. Hold on. Get it off the thing first. Bro! Am I a genius? I didn't think it was going to work that well. That's sick. Dude, magnets are so cool. I'm not even going to lie. That was a magical experience for me. Like, I don't know why that brought me so much happiness, but magnets are cool, guys. Now, I would say I was looking forward to this last thing in here, but I completely forgot that I even got this. Because it's so just like far out there, like I wouldn't even think of it with Perfumery, but it is essential. I think this was one of the most expensive things. I think the bottles were the most expensive, and then this. So, but this looks really nice. Like, it looks like an iPhone packaging, like super cool. But I'm really hoping that this actually works, because it would be very cool if it did. Okay, well, I always love when something just flies out of the box at you. Like a Jack in the Box, just jump scaring you, just jumping out of the box. It's just like an ad for it. I already bought it. Why do I need an ad? All right, and we also got the product manual. Look, it's like they're fully just copying iPhone. Like, I'm not complaining about it. This box is sick, but we got our little charging cable, and then of course we got the main course here. That's where the little labels will come out. We got our little thing to open it here, and then the button to turn it on. Right, but it's not charged yet. I am curious what it looks like inside of here, so let's go ahead and open it. Huh. So we got our little labels here, and then it looks like we got to open it and probably feed it through like here. This is so simple, like it's actually sweet, you know? So hopefully I remember to, to open that after I charge it, but I'm gonna charge this real quick, and then we can test if this thing works. Yo, it made a light. I think red probably means it's not charged. It'll probably turn green when it's like good to actually go. All right, so I took the sticker off and set up the tape inside, and the thing just turned blue. I think I have to connect with it with Bluetooth now and kind of make some sort of a label so I can test if this thing works how it's supposed to. All right, so I did a little screen recording here. Looks very Chinese on the app, but it's actually really easy to use. Connected straight away. I mean, it was already open to Bluetooth. Didn't really have to do anything. Just went straight to the label. And then the actual label maker was super simple and user-friendly. I could just basically design whatever it was I wanted. All right, dude. The app actually worked really well. And it printed. Dude, look at that. What a beautiful label. I should not have been given this power, dude. Now, if I have anything to say about this, I do really like just the overall simplicity of it. It's a really nice, simple design, simple use. The app was super simple to use. And I mean, it gets the job done. It wasn't expensive at all. And these are just like little stickers that you just peel them off. Like, I don't want to put this on one of my actual bottles and ruin it, but I do have a jar that I'm going to put this on. Just as a little memory so we can commemorate this moment. Yeah, this little canning jar for like dressing has just been sitting on my desk. So I figured, you know, might as well give it a name. Just so you guys know, if you ever buy my cologne, it's going to come like this. It's just going to be in a jar, and this is going to be the title. I feel like this is really all coming together. Anyway, guys, that's about it for my Perfumery equipment unboxing. I hope you guys enjoyed. I certainly did. The mess all over my room definitely goes to show that I was very excited about this, and you guys should be excited too, because, hey, who knows, you might be able to buy one of these. Flip that John around. Not me through the reflection. But yeah, we got lots of cool stuff over here today. And I'm just looking forward to experimenting, bro. Because I've been waiting for this day that my packages would finally come. It felt like it was years and years, even though it was a couple days. And it finally showed up, so I can finally start experimenting with Perfumery. And so right when I'm done recording this, I'm going to get to work, bro. And then when I have something, I'll make a video, show you guys what I'm thinking, what's going through my head.
and what kind of my steps are going to be for experimenting, just kind of getting a little groove here with Perfumery, because practice makes perfume. Put that on a t-shirt. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, go drop a like, drop a comment if you got any questions, concerns. I would be a little concerned as well. But yeah, that's about it. Peace.